advantage to Queen Yolo mid, QYM. And they're going to be starting on attack, or they're going to be starting on defense, rather. So we'll see exactly what they can do on Coastline as we will launch on in and get our third matchup underway. Now, I don't know if people expected matchups 1 and 2 to go into OT both times, but this is definitely a contest that I can see going all the way.
What is happening?
Buck is not allowed
this
today.
League hates Buck.
Buck is banned. Buck is canceled.
Buck is canceled.
Buck is canceled.
Cancel culture, you gotta love it, dude. Offense, we're gonna have 12. Okay. All right. We're banning anything that anyone can possibly shoot at other people with. I like it. I kind of like it. I'm not gonna lie to you. We're gonna get Twitch removed. Twitch being removed for, well, the F2, Parker. It's been called a crutch for a very long time because, well, it's the best assault rifle in the game. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. The gun is insane. Amazing rate of fire with a great damage margin and really no recoil to worry about. Makes for a damning weapon to whoever's on the other end of the barrel.
Yeah, I've tried to see people say that she's balanced, but no, that is not correct. She is exceptionally strong. And now there goes Echo and there goes Valkyrie. So there's a lot of variation in these bans that we've seen so far today. You know, Echo was allowed through both of our last 2 matchups. Not the case. Mira unbanned, so we will possibly see a Penthouse defense now, because usually when you have Mira on the board, Penthouse becomes a little bit easier. It still doesn't make it one of the strongest sites, but it certainly raises its value quite a bit.
All right, well, hopping back into things on Coastline once again, the very sunny map. I can't remember. This is in, I want to say it's Spain, isn't it? Correct?
Yes.
I can't remember what this map. Okay. I was going to say I couldn't.
Espana.
I can never remember. It's only this map I can never remember where it is for lore base wise. But as we are going back to sunny Spain here for Coastline, I want to remind you guys that if you were planning to sub, donate, do whatever with the CCS channel, make sure to get that in, guys. We're not pressuring you to do it, but if you wanted to do it to help out, you absolutely can, because if you guys didn't know, it goes directly into the prize pool for CCS Women's League. That's a huge deal. You guys are helping out, growing the league, and making things all the better for these players in the process, as well as getting some cool emotes too, as well as helping us unlock even more emote slots. Because if you guys didn't know, we've unlocked 8 emote slots just today, Parker. Just today. That's huge.
Samuel, blink once if CCS is paying you to say these things.
I
blink once.
I blinked twice, I promise.
Okay. The people can't see you.
So you're going to say I blinked once and blame it on Ty? That's what I'd do.
I blame Ty as well. Ty tangles or tit angles.
Only Siths dealing absolutes, Parker. All right, well.
He also blames himself according to production chat, so there now everybody knows.
Yeah, see, it's all Ty's fault.
It's because he shaved his beard and he just looks like somebody gave Remorse a thunderstone.
That is so bad. Okay, we're gonna have the defense being started off by Queen Yolo mid. The offense going to get started off by Disrupt, and some beautiful drone work coming in, just like we saw last week. So we saw them pick it up a lot in the more conjoined department. We saw them pick it up a lot in that team play, where we see a lot more info game, and that's definitely what you're going to need to try and shut down Fuya. They have all the angles in the world to try and shut her down. They just have to handle it properly. Frag grenade going to pour in now, but it's going to get immediately ADS as the E1D will strike down. Fuya will get marked out. They know exactly where she is, and Wolf K is going to start us off. That's a huge frag onto Fu. She needed some assistance, but she's not going to have any. Some creative castle barricades as well, and I really like how the Women's League is actually done very, very good due diligence with this operator, Parker. We have not seen too much castle play, especially on Coastline.
No, I mean, he was a huge staple of the Slaughterhouse Axios game from both teams, so you really hit the nail on the head there. And he's a very powerful operator when in the right hands. You want to try to get as much soft destruction as possible, and just soft destruction is like distinctly lacking outside of Wolf K as well as Maddox right now. Speaking of Wolf K, what a lead we find for Disrupt. They're up 5v3 at the moment. They still got Lion on the board and Jackal. This is a toxic lineup. Let's not try to hide our words here, Samuel.
We're not going to dance around it.
C-millionaire, chameleonaire, as we will call her, by the entrance to service, waiting for Bappers to push on up, still off of blue bar. We'll need to get in towards sight as the execute is going down and her teammates all falling. Maddox is in and there's a castle barricade, so unfortunately for Bappers, you've locked yourself out. What's that? Congratulations, you played yourself. Holding trigger at least for the time being. And is managing now dual Wolf K will go back in, but cannot complete. Wolf Withstand is available for Wolf if she wants it. The wall Bappers takes out Maddox, but you gotta have to tear that castle barricade down. Did you finish up on the Zofia? You're gonna have to decide that because Wolf K can re-engage. Playing back by the reception desk. Who's there to answer the call, at least for the time being? Bappers into the rotate hole, finds the diffuser, at least for the time being, gets a mark, but cannot land the shots required. And it's Chameleonaire with the very final kill to give Disrupt round number 1 on Coastline.
Well, traditionally speaking, it's cut the head off the snake and 2 more will grow, but this time around it doesn't happen. Bapper's not able to find her mark, and Bappers is the other person you really have to worry about on this roster for just pure frag potential. We haven't really seen Odd or anyone else step up too far. They've done very good on their utility usage throughout their matches so far, but especially being on that support role with Fuya fragging out 3 to 4 people before they even get to site, they haven't seen too much action inside of their defensive rounds throughout their game so far. But that seems like everything's about to change, Parker, as we're going to continue to see this Jackal Lion setup, which it's very, very difficult because it's okay. I want to try and avoid getting caught by Jackal. My pathing's going to be a little bit more creative. Maybe I'll hop to the center of courtyard or something to try and throw off my footprints. But then you have the man that well, for lack of a better term, just stand still. You know, that's really all you can do when he's on the board. But him in tandem with Jackal all of a sudden makes things very difficult. Because when you're standing still, all of a sudden you get hot marked by a Jackal track, and then someone shoots you through a soft wall. It's a very, very damning duo at the end of the day.
Yeah, it's not fun. Let's be honest. It is not a fun lineup. To try to deal with those two. You added Dokkaebi maybe to that list. Remember when Glaz was playing an awful lot, stuff like that, you know?
Remember the Ying Glaz meta, Parker? That was a fun time.
Yeah, I remember that. I don't think it was a fun time. So
that's when Ying was amazing and Hungary would literally just win out every single game for Penta. That was some truly incredible stuff.
Well, last time around, you saw both Autumn and Fuya get eliminated early on, and those are going to be 2 of their more rock-solid players, which is part of what allowed Disrupt to just walk all over the remaining members in a 5v3 that just really favors the attackers on a map like Coastline. So not dying early for Fuya is going to be priority number 1. She's on the roam, as you'd imagine, from a Jaeger. Possibly get hunted down by Fry Queen. You've also got Dope Girl who can use that utility to try and find her. Who knows? But Wolf K is in hot pursuit. And there you go. Oh, no, you can't connect the way you need to. Fuya somehow survives and will now lay wait inside of luggage.
That was so much damage by Wolf K there, but just could not find that last bullet. The coattails of Fuya. Fuya's going to peek back out. She wants more, but that's the danger of Coastline, Parker, as she gets taken down from the roof. Maddox will fall in tandem, though, and we're still on equal woman count. If I can say that.
I appreciate that one. It's you can just say even count, Samuel. You don't need to.
No, I wanted to make an exclamation point, you know.
Well, thanks, Sam.
Yeah.
There you go. You know you've got Aqua control, or at least you just can open up that castle barricade and you've got control, but Ashton's there, and not exactly the best fight that you want to be taking. Prone as a castle with a UMP in hand. That's mighty tough. Wolf K just creeping on up very slowly. Possibly do some more damage. Takes the head off of Ashton, immediately refragged by Animosity. Lights up the corpse, rather. Allowing the remainder of Queen Yolo mid to now get deeper entrenched, but in the wrong site as the plan is going out next to the A-bomb. Inside of Billiards, Thatcher taking a lot of damage, gets it off successfully, losing some HP in the process, but Chameleonaire evacuates the site. Looks like Dope Girl's been down in the ensuing fray, so it's all on the shoulders of the Thatcher and the Jackal in a 2v3. Down goes the Mozzie, swing on out onto Fry Queen, ill-advised with the C7E there. Autumn dropping in a smoke canister, waiting to hit it at any point. Down was Chameleonaire, who peeks. Once again, ill-advised. There's Fry Queen, looks the wrong way. No, can't land the shots onto Animosity. And Dope Girl is down, but by their count, they aren't aware of it. She'll bleed out and hit the point of no return, just as the diffuser is taken care of. And it's Queen Yolo mid with round number 2.
It's going to accept the darkness in that instance. You can't really crawl there and just like bite her ankles or anything. That's not in the game, Parker. You can't do that yet. So maybe one day we'll get an operator that can just like crawl around and still do damage or something. Smoke can like pop his canisters on himself. Remember, actually, Ella still has that. Ella can pop Grismonts on herself. I haven't played her in so very long because of how squirrely that Scorpion is. But nevertheless, offense this time prevailing, or excuse me, defense this time prevailing. And it seems like we're actually going to have a pretty equal matchup between these two. I think it's about to be no holds bar, Hell in a Cell type of stuff on Coastline here, Parker.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not going to be surprised for this to go all the way, like I said before. That tends to happen, and with two teams that are this evenly matched. And today is the story of evenly matched teams. So expect us to go the distance on this one as well. No sleep. Sleeping is not allowed. You have to be here for every single round. So far, we're 2 rounds shy, actually, of playing the maximum distance. That's quite a thing to say.
Yeah. No sleep till Brooklyn, as the kids say, you know?
Yes.
All right, well, the roam game so far for the defense of Queen Yolo mid has not been really working out for them too well. Fuya especially has been very adamant about it, but has not been able to find her mark just yet. And it's really been all off of the back of Fry Queen as well as Wolf K working in tandem in order to achieve this roam clear. And especially with the Lion Jackal combo has been talking about, it's very, very difficult in order to win this out. Really, the only thing I could possibly think of to help them out would be the mute pickup, as well as playing Vigil in order to be able to move around while those E1Ds are active. But his backpack does not save you from Jackal traps.
Fuya's on this roam yet again upstairs. To be over in the penthouse side of things, so not exactly connected to where she needs to be. She's in theater, rather, not penthouse. Penthouse just right next door. There's got the ADSs for support as well. Disrupt have done a much better job of roam clearing than what we saw out of our very first game between Slaughterhouse and Axios, and this is how you do it effectively. You've got Wolf being guided in with the sledge not too far off, so both your Zofia and your sledge are being assisted, and Fuya could possibly run into an awful lot of trouble. Now, keep in mind there are ADSs on the either side of the door, so a grenade is not going to hit its target. But in addition to the drones, you've also got a Lion to help with this roam clear, and that's exactly what comes out now. Fuya will get droned out yet again. She hears it, lights up Maddox, might have even downed the sledge, which pushes Wolf K to have to just move up. And she loses the fight as well. Oh, Fuya, right now in her last stand in the back of the theater. And everybody's watching a third now for Fuya too, as down goes Chameleonaire. Go collect your kill on the sledge. You know you want it. Dope Girl will try to hold her in place. And now it's all on Fry Queen to push in. What? This could be a fool's errand.
Oh my goodness.
Oh, Danielle inside a theater. Absolutely incredible. Now Dope Girl trying to get one up. Will the Jaeger be able to capitalize on this, Sam?
Oh, such a smart utility use here by Dope Girl, using that E1D to make it to where Fuya can't move. Oh, and a quick shot from Maddox, getting a little bit of payback for getting planted on her butt earlier by Fuya. But Fuya's already done her damage, Parker. 3 kills. Do not give that woman ones. You do not want to be on the receiving end of that. 45 seconds, but this round seems to already have been burnt to a crisp off of the efforts of Fuya. Quick rotation through as Vapors once again. What did I tell you, Parker? You still have one to worry about. You cut the head off the snake, and it appears that one will always grow back as Vapors finds her mark here with Mozzie.
I feel like Queen Yolo mid was nowhere on that map yet everywhere at the same time. And in large part
Mhm.
because of the way that Fuya was playing inside of theater, she was unassisted. There was nobody else there for her. There was no refrag or trade potential yet. She was on that last stand, like we said, and made it work so effectively. It was an exemplary way to defend on your own. Now, I had just applauded the entry and drone work from Disrupt, but I got to say, it fell apart pretty quickly. And they really needed to utilize that utility more. They didn't burn the ADSs at all. Wolf was situated at the door, looking all the way to the back of theater. They droned twice. They knew the Jaeger was there. You've got a sledge nearby. Have Zofia burn the ADSs with her, with her lifeline, and then have Sledge do what Sledge does and send an airmail in for Fuya to receive at the back of theater. It was ultimately a poor usage of utility from Disrupt. I don't know if they froze or they just weren't confident in their abilities or not, but they really could have pinched Fuya earlier. And that's where the round was won and lost.
Well, that being said, Parker, we're going to be headed downstairs to Double Bar, which is a pretty interesting site. We talked about it earlier today, but why don't we give it the good old run around once again? This site in particular on Coastline is extremely unique. All the other sites have a default. That is exactly that, default. It works. No one really delves too much deeper into that. Coastline's a map where it's all on the frags, except for this one. You can hold this site a million different ways. You can hold it from kitchen. You can go completely horizontal, hold it from across in lobby, hold it upstairs, whatever way you want to. Last time we didn't see too much vertical pressure coming out between the two teams, but this time around especially, we're going to see exactly that. We're going to see Bappers allocating her castle barricades upstairs to the aquarium door, as well as a few other windows to make more of a bunker type setup, as well as she's actually going to use one of them on the kitchen door, which we see Dope Girl now rotating into. But I don't think that they are aware, and no, they're not. Ashton, what a flick. Good night, Dope Girl. We'll see you later. Take your EE1Ds and get out, as Millionaire tries to hop in the window, but it gets immediately punished by a hail of gunfire as Maddox finally shuts down one more. It's going to be Fuya finally, as well as Animosity falling in tandem. Wolfkai to tack on, and all of a sudden you thought it was going the defensive way, but it doesn't seem to be in the cards. Kasumi Goto as well. That's Autumn to tack on, and all of a sudden we have equal op count. Fry Queen to tack on as well, and oh my goodness gracious, it's just equal trades falling everywhere, Parker. It's all of a sudden down to a 1 versus 1. Wolfkai and Kasumi Goto. Autumn lying in next to the blue bar door. Is she ready? No! Wolfkai to fall, and Queen Yolo mid to win it out off of the back of Autumn's efforts, and what a fast round here.
Queen Yolo mid now putting their third on the board, 3 in a row. And when you don't answer, you tend to lose momentum pretty quickly. This is defense on Coastline as well that we're seeing, but it certainly feels like Queen Yolo mid is playing on attack at the moment. DG have good depth, but right now they are just being beaten by the depth and buried underneath it by Queen Yolo mid through these 4 rounds. Now, there's still plenty of time to salvage this, don't get me wrong. But once again, utility usage. DG is bringing what a lot of people would consider to be an irritating lineup. Jackal and Lion, it's not fun to play against those operators, just like it's not fun to play up against Montaigne or Echo or Legion. Additionally, you've also got frag grenades. You've also got the ability to burn ADSs in Wolf's hands. And then, of course, you've got the gadget destruction from the EMP of Chameleonaire. There's so many tools right now that Disrupt has, they're just not able to put it all together. And there doesn't really need to be that much utility from Queen Yolo mid, because a lot of what they've done has not been relying on their gadgetry. It's just simply them winning gunfights. And that's okay, but you need to win more gunfights. And if you're not going to use that extensive utility that you're bringing here, because you're not bringing a lot of it, but what you're bringing, how do I phrase this correctly? You're not bringing a diverse amount of utility. It all kind of does the same thing, and you're bringing enough of it, but not a lot of it. And that's what I think Disrupt needs to
bringing the bare
more.
minimum, I think, would be the best way to put that.
Yeah.
I completely agree with you on that front there, Parker, is that they're bringing what's needed, but they're not bringing an exemplary amount of it. So if one person dies, all of a sudden you just go, oh, okay, well, we can't do what we wanted to do anymore because we didn't bring all of it when we just brought heart instead. We just brought the minimum amount and everything we could have possibly had. They do have a crap load of roam clear, though. That's really what we've been seeing from this offense, is that they have literally everything on the sun besides Dokkaebi to try and clear out roamers. And it's been working out pretty handedly for them, but especially in that last round there in round 4, that was just something truly incredible. That was just back and forth every step of the way from beginning to end of that round. It seemed that there really wasn't anything too strategic. It was a lot more hammer than it was anything else.
It's not as much of a roam upstairs that we see from Queen Yolo mid either. So you can take that pretty fast. I mean, you're not usually going to have people over in Penthouse Theater when it's a hookah defense. I mean, it can be, but you don't see it all the time. In this instance, in this instance in particular, it's smart the way you're going to hold that. But Fuya is just going to continue to exist as she always does, and she is tearing it up. She's running roughshod right now over top of the remaining members of Disrupt. Takes out both the SCS operators. This is troubling because you've still got half the round to go for Queen Yolo mid, and they don't really seem to know where anything is.
Still some drone play coming out here for Disrupt, as 2 members have already been dispatched. As most of the SAS members, as they both lie at the top of main stairs, and Wolfkai rotates past her fallen comrades. Fuya now on the rotate coming to main stairs, and there's no utility to stop her from doing so either. We could have our second gunfight here, Parker, between these two, or third, excuse me. They had already had that gunfight earlier on inside of theater, in which we saw Fuya make it a 1-to-1 count in this instance. Who's going to come out on top this time around? Fu's still playing her time, biting it at the top of main stairs. EE1D to strike. And only 30 seconds left for this defense to try and waste. But as Wolfkai is still focused in on the flank, Fu's going to take quite a bit of damage. You need to try and get this diffuser down, though. Still plenty of utility. 1 nitro cell, plenty of smokes, as well as everything else. The Sprite Queen's now going to start to take some damage. 18 seconds left, and if they still have both of those smokes, this is just going to be all for naught here for the defense. They can't possibly rotate in. Another smoke grenade will come in, but it's not going to be of the toxic variety. A quick rotate in, EE1Ds in tandem, as well as Wolf K has to try and rotate in. Who's going to be on the flank, but she gets taken down. It's going to be all up to Dope Girl, but the planter goes down, as well as the Lion, as Autumn with the smoke play. The SMG-11, so good in the proper hands, and it'll work out for her this time around. Oh, what a transfer, my God.
That is, hey, that's pretty good.
Hey,
that's pretty good. Now, one of the things here that I'm noticing from Queen Yolo mid is that you focus too much on taking care of Fuya. You waste an awful lot of time, which she's very good at. You finally get rid of her. You've still got Autumn and Bappers on site. And that's the bigger issue. Or at least Bappers hasn't necessarily always been playing on site, but playing close enough to the site that she's able to get back pretty quickly. And I mean, what do you do at this point? I don't genuinely know what the answer is for Disrupt right now, because they're not blowing up their composition. They've ran the same lineup time and time again. Abs in a hard breacher, as we'd expect. Pretty normal. But nothing's working. They decide to go for a site push instead of focusing on the roamers. They get eaten alive by the site players. They spend too much time on Fuya. They lose lives and they waste time. What's the diagnosis here, doctor?
Diagnosis is not very good there, Parker. Almost like they, need to stay at home and not cast for a while.
You.
That was probably the best use of the Go XLR that I have heard in a very, very long time. That was very good. But no, I would completely. Oh, I accidentally hit my FX button. Yeah.
You are so dumb, Sam.
Hey, you know what, Parker? It's not nice, dude. All right. Not nice. Anyways, despite the fact of us both using our powerful tools to annoy the hell out of each other, I would absolutely agree that it's not a good look for this offense right now. They need to try and clean things up, need to try and focus more on site. Yeah, if you can get the roamers in the process, that's great. But the way that they're even handling the roamers is not good. they try and just go for a one pincher attack. And as we talked about earlier, Fuya is so great at these ones, but she's going to take so much damage by Maddox through the VIP wall. She gets droned out. They now know that she's inside of theater. Still has a soft wall in behind her as well. So she could get pre-fired if somebody tries to pressure through 90 Hall. Fry Queen going to go down as well. So all of a sudden this gets a little bit easier. Drone play coming in and quick shot here by Wolf.
Equalized. They trade. The server trades. Oh my.
You can't laugh, dude. You make me laugh. It's not fair.
You can't say she goes down when she DCs.
Dude,
anyway, she's back. Autumn is currently under severe fire, under siege, some would even say. The C4 will not connect above. It tears up enough of the floor now that Maddox can look intently downward. Just causes some of the security the defenders have to be gone. Minute and a half. This is better timing for DG than we've seen before, but keep in mind they lost their Jackal. That's their only set of smokes. It's a really good gun. It's an annoying operator to play against. So
why did you say that like a question?
I was going to continue, but then you just like were immediately ready for me to stop talking.
No, I'm just
You were
asking.
you were like, you me.
You're just like
Are you
annoying
done?
operator to play against?
Are you done? Autumn's going to grab the scalp of Maddox, collect another 4 of the tally. Wolfcan, very minimal HP, once again being droned on in, and she can end up in a collision course with Autumn May. She might lose this fight. Indeed, she will. Okay, pulverizing Autumn, watching the rotate hole to see if there's going to be somebody coming to her defense, not for the time being. It's a 3v3, and with HP, it still favors Queen Yolo mid, who are looking to take this first half with a commanding 5-1. Still a 4-2 split very much in the cards here. 30 seconds left, and Wolf K cannot dawdle at all, almost dying to the goo mine. She's backed up by Dope Girl. The Lion is there. There might still be some utility on the board as Bapper's playing the usual position by kitchen door, lobbing shots all the way down the hallway. Lion will freeze everybody in place, and that will give enough time for Chameleonaire to get the diffuser down. Ashton pushing on up, watching the doorway. She's got Animosity right behind her, and this is a much more challenging proposition, at least for the time being. Bapper's finds Dope Girl. She's made her advance all the way up towards the main lobby, and out-dueled is Chameleonaire. A beautiful shot by Ashton. Wolf K has so little HP, and she has to watch for Bappers, but can't do it. They'll trade out magnificently, and a 5-1 split, almost as good as you're gonna get, goes to Queen Yolo mid.
Almost perfect, and Queen Yolo mid definitely with a dominant performance so far. I think the main thing right now is that this is the top of the mountain, folks, for CCS women's. It seems that no one has the chops to really stand up to Queen Yolo mid at this time. So already so early on, this is a 9-week season. You can already see how playoffs could possibly go if no one can possibly make a stand, because as of right now, just the duo of Bappers and Fuya on defense is so terrifying. And even if you do cut them down, you still have a very, very well put together backbone, especially with the likes of Autumn. I mean, did you guys see that shot earlier with the SMG-11? That doesn't even happen a lot inside of Pro League with a transfer like that. The SMG-11 is a very squirrely weapon, even with its recoil, its recent recoil buff. It's still a weapon that requires a little bit of finesse to get proper, and she's definitely handling it extremely, extremely well.
So far, so good. And that's why I said there's like that depth, and then even then you still have Autumn May on site. And it's not that we're not trying to give a good showing to Disrupt, and not that we're trying to downplay their achievements, but so far they had a good performance in the first round, but that's really been it. And on a map like Coastline, you can't be letting the defenders win 5-1 on Coastline. You just can't be doing that. It almost completely dooms your ability to come back. This is a tall mountain to climb for Disrupt, who are sitting in second place trailing Queen Yolo mid. This could have been their best opportunity to dethrone the Queens and take over the top spot. And right now, it seems very much out of grasp. I think this round is going to be really pivotal here. You can try to rebuild momentum and come back, swing it in the other direction with a strong showing on defense, because defense does tend to be inherently easier than attacking. But I'm not exactly sold that that pendulum's going to swing back right now.
Neither am I, but we do have a huge capitalization mark to start off the round. It's going to be Fry Queen knocking down Animosity. That's Sled. So soft destruction out the window, all except for the Zofia. Zofia obviously still having the secondary shotgun as well as Ashton, but that's really going to round out the rest of the roster. Going to play a little bit more safe. No Doc on the defense, so Fry Queen cannot possibly gain any more health unless they want to down her for that measly 20 HP, but that's still 1 bullet and to die. Lifeline on the hand of Zofia almost claims the life of Fry Queen. If she was any closer, that damage definitely would have hit its mark, and it ended up fragging her out. But it's going to be Autumn that's playing quite slow right now. They do still recognize out that Fry Queen's in here, but she's playing a very off-kilter angle here. Does recognize out that one could possibly be inside of blue. Waiting for the rotation now is Autumn. Peeks back in towards Sunrise, but still has one to worry about inside of blue. Have not recognized it out just yet, though. I believe that is the Vigil defense of Chameleonaire. 40 still left on the clock as Fry Queen might actually go for a very odd rotation. You don't have enough time to sprint up and get back inside of sight through that pathing, but there's no one home outside, so she doesn't have to worry too much if she does choose that.
Speaking of rotations, you're going to see a full one go on in now over towards VIP. And Fuya is all the way up there as well, joining her. Losing Animosity was a pretty big blow. You still got Vigil lurking underneath as well. Wolf is waiting by Aquarium. If undroned, she's going to be crucial now, and she'll know that Autumn May is nearby because of the sound. Oh! But no, she loses the gunfight, and it's Autumn May to win the day. Putting us back 4v4. Once again, Disrupt is mostly sequestered towards the backside of the site. And a beautiful shot, but finished off by the tracks. Fry Queen is there as well to find Fuya amidst the smoke, and Maddox takes out Autumn May. And this is looking great for Disrupt. A very weak entry so far has been answered by a stalwart defense. But Bappers takes out Maddox. Still very low on HP. She's going to have Gumines in her path. 2 of them will claim the rest of her life. Maestro hugging the tight wall. Will Bappers emerge successful here? She's got pink clear. Has to take out Fry Queen. Sticks the plant and tries to draw somebody out. But she's going to look to the left. She won't be aware of to the right. And that's a very easy kill for the Jaeger, especially with the Gumine and Bappers' foot. And Disrupt need to build off of this desperately.
You could say that they're disrupting the process, Parker, of this offense.
Yeah, I would never say that.
Anyways, defense so far working out pretty well for DG, but they're going to have to tag quite a few in more of a train here than anything, because as we've seen time and time again throughout all of this game competitively, once you hit that 5 margin, it's very, very easy to find your last 2 rounds. There's not very many errors you can make on defense, but luckily enough for the defense of DG right now, they do get 1 mistake, Parker. They have 1 round that can possibly falter to the other team before losing it all. They just need to try and rack up as many rounds before that time hits. So I'm trying to formulate my words. But the roam game so far for DG working out pretty well. I would say for the offense, they need to do a little bit better job of the droning. That's something that we've seen become almost the demon of every single team so far, Parker, is that they just cannot get this information game going. And it doesn't help that a lot of these teams have been rocking Mozzie as well to pull that, or excuse me, push that even farther.
Sorry, I had to tweet.
Oh, no.
There was a tweet. I tweeted. That's all.
Oh, no.
Anyway. You need to build off of this momentum desperately. And I mean, the bans are playing very interestingly into this as well, but I mean, we haven't seen a mirror yet. I suspect that it's because most teams are, most of these ladies are likely scrimming without Mira in their portfolio because she's going to be banned so religiously. That's not too surprising. Echo is also available, not coming up for Disrupt either. That is a surprise. So one of the greatest strengths that Queen Yolo mid had through the first bit was how unpredictable they were. And they fed off of the fact that Disrupt were not as coordinated as they could be. You don't necessarily need as strong coordination on defense as you do on attack, first and foremost. And number 2, it could also be that, you know, Queen Yolo mid is not a particularly coordinated team either, you know, on attack. So we could be seeing that pendulum swing, like I said, but you need to build off this momentum here. If you can get an early pick, I think as Queen Yolo mid, you just got to keep pushing it. C4 is going to go up and doesn't connect. That was a weird graphical glitch.
We're going to have some footprints come through for Fuya. Jackal, incredible operator for allowing a team to get coordinated, especially when, offenses aren't too well put together, especially with these younger competitive teams. It does help out a lot with an operator like that in the game to make things just a little bit easier, just especially with the roam games. But Phoenix already going to be picking up back through the holes. Yes, those do go both ways, everyone. Oh, a quick shot and Bappers to hit the floor. That's going to be the Habana. You don't need her too much, but you definitely wanted Fuya alive. The two-headed snake that we've been talking about this entire time for Queen Yolo mid is down, and all of a sudden, it's the support players to try and hoist things up for this round and finally find match point, because right now, it's not working out for them.
This is really tough here, and more information now from the goo mine too. IQ on the stairs, being joined by the sledge. They've got a lot of work ahead of them with a minute to go, especially given what is on the docket for them on defense. And right now it's Disrupt just feeding off of the lack of coordination that's coming on in. Down goes the IQ. Maddox guns down Autumn May, and now a bit of a fight back from Ashton. She clobbers Maddox. 3 more to go, but once again, very minimal HP. This is a similar situation to what we've seen out of Disrupt in the past, and Queen Yolo mid is you have so minimal HP that you can't really do all that much with it. Pushing on up. She's still got track stingers and smoke grenades, but it's not going to be particularly effective right now. Wolf is watching the angle. No real way in, and Ashton's going to plant in front of a Maestro cam. Getting pinged. Maestro's dead, but you got the intel, and it's Fry Queen to capitalize. Fry Queen has been warming up and playing much better on defense. Her name has been all over that scoreboard, and she's currently making Queen Yolo mid pay.
That's exactly what they need to do, Parker. Queen Yolo mid seemed like it was just another day in the park for them on defense, and all of a sudden the script has been completely flipped on them as Disrupt is just taking them to the cleaners. They haven't been able to find anything for roam clear, nothing at all, and it appears that we're going to have a little bit of a switch up in the lineup for the offense. Fuya going away from the Jackal over to the Thatcher, which, as we've seen, especially on her defensive side where she was just on an absolute tear, not really the operator you'd see her on. Oh, we're gonna have a switch up over to Bappers going to the Jackal, and then Autumn picking up the mantle for the entry fragger.
I think after you lose those two, you need to make a change at this point, because you don't want the same thing happening that we saw in the previous 2 games, which is that both teams that held the lead and sat close to match point, well, they end up falling behind and they squander that momentum. And right now, you're in the danger zone of doing that. Another round victory for Disrupt, and you're getting into critical territory where you can start fighting, you can start tilting, issues start to arise with your own confidence, you start to get in your head, you play hero plays, and then things unravel. Now, I don't think things have necessarily unraveled for Queen Yolo mid so far. They've made some mistakes, sure. It's been very strong play from Disrupt to this point, at least for the last 2 rounds. So it's not really necessarily an issue with Queen Yolo mid. It's just that Disrupt are clearly much better on defense and are playing the same kind of predictable style, or unpredictable style rather, than we saw from Queen Yolo mid. And a big part of that has been the lady that you're looking at on your screen right now. It's Fry Queen.
So impactful so far, to the point where not a lot of people are really wanting to peek her animosity. You can tell drone play coming in now, but Fry Queen playing it to a T, rotating out, rotating back to safer harbors here as they're trying to do a full clear now. Animosity has control of Aquarium, but has 1 to worry about. Chameleon are trying to rotate him in, but he gets immediately decapitated by that L85 of Sledge. Fry Queen now in a little bit of danger, and yes, it's going to be a shot by Autumn, the woman that we've been seeing play so much support as of late for this team, finally showing her true colors and what she can do with this Sophia. Some quick frags coming through now as they have all of the vertical support that they could possibly want.
This is looking rough for Disrupt. Through a minute, R can go very quickly, and that's exactly what we're seeing here now. It's akin to a couple other sites where if you don't play it properly, you can lose a lot of your pieces in one swift blow. And I don't think Maddox even saw that one coming. Looks like she got killed by an elbow of Bappers around the door. And Wolf, I do not envy your position one bit. Can you make some magic happen? Or is it going to be match point after a flawless round indeed? That's what we have on the cards, and Queen Yolo mid breaking the momentum that we saw from Disrupt and they're going to sit one round away from victory.
We've been talking about a lot of young comp today, Parker. That's been our
Yes.
main focal point of being able to describe what's going on, why it's going on, so on and so forth. But here we actually saw a lineup change that we haven't seen any other team really go into when someone else is failing at what they're doing. Fuyag could not find any foot to stand on this roam clear at all. Every single time losing a gunfight, information just wasn't going her way, and sometimes it happens. But they had someone else with a hot hand, top of the leaderboard. It was Autumn. Throws the roll over to Autumn, and Autumn finds the entry frags that were needed in order to get the job done. That is some veteran play that I like to see. That is what the call was supposed to be at the end of the day, and it ended up working out for them.
So you're now in a position where a single role change might have been all you needed, right?
Mhm.
And that's really what it comes down to. Good teams do this. And that's what sets good teams apart from the great teams a lot of times, is that if you're a great team, honestly, you have a lot of players who can flex, and you basically have a team of flex players. You don't have these hard-baked roles. On a map like Coastline, you don't run a hard breacher most of the time. Obviously, this is not the case, as you see what Bappers is playing. But you don't have a hard breacher all the time, so your support can be a bit more aggressive. Your support can play, in a more liberal way. They can get more frags and accumulate more kills than they usually do. It really opens up the play style here, and you don't even necessarily rely on Fuya, who's only got 6 kills. I honestly thought she had more than that. I didn't, especially that one round where she picked up a 4K. But it's been Autumn May right now and Bappers who have just been absolutely running train on that scoreboard.
Well, pretty traditional setup here for the hookah billiard site. We're gonna have Dope Girl laying in behind the hookah bar, which is obviously extremely traditional. And playing off the bomb chassis, you can see quite a few angles that are a regular space for the offenders. The window as well as outside, you can all play from that bomb chassis. And as everyone knows, it's bulletproof. You can't get shot through it. So it's usually the most powerful position inside of the site if it's close enough to an area to escape to. Fuya now, though, going to be back on the Jackal from what we saw earlier. Last round, she did bring the Thatcher. We didn't see the Thatcher be too effective, really didn't do much with the EMPs. So going to go back over the Jackal, but we are going to see Autumn stay on that Zofia. Instead, Bappers rotating back over to a hard destructor. Now, on this map in particular, Habana actually does have a pretty niche thing that she can do, especially on this site. You can use those X-Cairo pellets to actually burst open the wall on this side of couches, or as Parker is calling it, pink, which is exactly what we're going to see, or I believe they might be opening the side of VIP. Nevertheless, we're going to see Fuya, as we were talking about earlier, be the first to falter off. That means no more tracks to worry about.
Next, we'll now move over towards the mute jammer, playing on the default plant spot. As you're still roam clearing 90 seconds in. Okay, not terrible. I don't know exactly what happened, unless there's a mute jammer there that prevented the XKROS from going off, but Bappers will have a limited view towards the site from this hard destruction she did. Oh, that's not good timing from Maddox. And it's an easy frag for Autumn May to equalize. You still got your set of smokes coming out from Ash if you need them, or Ashton. Waiting for the time being as the assembly that is happening from Queen Yolo mid tends to be over towards the luggage area. Now, still got tons of time. Neither team really needs to panic, but the Legion missing the shot on the drone, Wolf clearly not landing the shot she needs because that intel is going to be very invaluable. Still, she is not shaken off of her position. She knows there might be more coming from luggage. She's prepared to greet them. She's taken one down so far. Mine gets blown up immediately, and being very wary of a flank, you've got 2 members of Queen Yola mid looking behind them, but they need to look ahead at the 30 seconds that are left on the clock in the execute. That's in front of them. Wolf K is in such an advantageous position. She'll get traded out, and Bappers picks up 2 of her own, but she's going to have to pull out the goo mine, and there's an evil eye cam that could be her undoing. She peeks just a little bit too wide, and DG picks up a round that they desperately need, staving off defeat, at least for the time being.
This matchup going away from absolute stomp, Parker, all the way back to close matchup. Disrupt need 2 rounds to push this to OT, but as we were discussing earlier, all it takes is one tiny mistake, and all of a sudden the game is in the opponent's hands, especially on match point. There's nothing much you can really do about it. You have to go perfect, And this is the time to just go no holds barred. You have to try and bring something that hasn't been done before. And again, we're seeing these lineup adjustments from the offense, and this has been so good throughout for Queen Yolo mid. I don't know if this is something they've been strategizing, if someone's been trying to focus on that IGL role or what have you, but this is just beautiful work from this offense so far on their role swaps. Gridlock and Nomad are two key components of attack on this map in particular, especially on the kitchen site. You can go upstairs, you can take full control, shove all the roamers down, and then you just lock down every staircase. No one can possibly roam, and then you just demise everyone on site with that vertical play.
So you survive a scare as your disrupt. You still can hold on to the fact that your record right now on defense is a pretty sterling 3-1, or rather 2-1. My apologies there. Math is difficult. No, it's 3-1 rather. My math was correct. I wasn't looking at my notepad.
Next
You
time
know
look
I
at your
like to
notepad,
look.
forehead.
You know I like to look at my notepad.
That thing is filled, dude. It's a filled notepad. Let's get a tablet, forehead.
I have a tablet actually. I think that they're kind of a waste.
On a side note, I really do like mine. Mainly because I suck at writing.
Perfectly on topic.
Mainly because my handwriting is abysmal. It is garbage. Like if you saw my handwriting, you'd be like, "This is chicken scratch. It's terrible."
Right.
Yeah.
Well,
As is my casting.
no, it's
I was waiting. I was just waiting. I was shooting
I'm
my.
not gonna cook you. Don't worry.
I was shooting myself before you could shoot me.
I'm here for you. Don't worry. We're neither. Be thankful neither of us are Flynn.
Oh, exactly. That's true. At least I'm not Flynn. At least I have a father. That's good.
Oh my goodness gracious. Anyway, we oh my. Anyway. Okay, well, try to get back on topic here. That's a minute so far that we've seen expended, and it's been a lot more reluctance to enter the building from Queen Yolo mid in comparison to what we've seen before.
Oh, cardiac sensor coming out now for Maddox, helping out, bringing in a little bit of that info gain that we've seen before. We've seen Pulse played a number of times so far throughout this entire game, but finally Fuya will hit her mark once again. She's been, well, pretty quiet throughout, especially after their defensive side ended, but finally having a big pick. That's Legion, especially so early on in the game. Not nearly as many Goon Mines as what could have happened before. That's going to be a quick shot by Bapper. She's been electric so far throughout this series and finds her mark once again. Fry Queen and the rest of DG need to try and pick up the pieces right now. This is going to start things off. No, she's going to lose it out. Looks away at the wrong time. Fuya, even though she will be on a trade here with a Nitro So going off in the distance to take out Animosity, but all of a sudden it comes down to just Dope Girl. She has 3 to find, and this will be a quad for her on the map if she can possibly find a couple more. Quick shots, though. This is going to be Fuya. She has to try and quell this beast that is the Alda. It's so good in the proper hands, but she could not possibly find the head, and Fu on a quick peek removes the head from Dope Girl, and that's going to be Queen Yolo mid, finally finding the matchup here on Coastline.
That's what they needed. And yeah, 3-2. Oh, 3-2 on their defenses. That's better for Disrupt, but unfortunately for them, they gave up too much ground at the start. So you can't really make it up that readily when you find yourself in that great of a hole. It was some pretty good performances, if I'm being completely honest with you. The supports really showed up for both teams.